In today's lesson, we're going to be going over how we can create this splash screen in SwiftUI, and it's a very simple video, so definitely stick around if you want to see how to do this in very few lines of code. But let's go ahead and get started immediately in Xcode. So the first thing you want to do is change it to an iPhone 13 or whatever iPhone you want to make this work on, and click on resume so that we can make sure that Xcode is working. Now inside here, we'll go ahead and create a Z stack. And the call is going to be set to blue, and it's going to ignore the safe area. Then we can go ahead and add some text, which will be called content view. So we can tell, or we can actually just demonstrate that this will be the home screen. So foreground color will be set to .white, and the font will be set to .system with a size of 30. So here we have our content view. Now let's go ahead and create a new view by holding down Command +N. And we're going to go ahead and call this SplashScreen view. And click on Create. Now, since we want the SplashScreen view to be the first thing the user sees, we're going to have to go to our main window group. And usually you have a content view inside here, but we're going to replace it with a SplashScreen view because that's what we want to appear first. Now inside here, we want to go ahead and create a few state variables. So at state private var is active, and that's going to tell the program whether the splash screen is active or not. And we're going to have that set initially to false. Then since I want to add some animations, we're going to go ahead and create a private var size parameter or variable, which will be set to 0.8 initially, so we can expand that slightly. And we're going to do the same thing for the opacity. So at private var opacity will equal 0.5. Now inside here, let's go ahead and create a VStack. And inside this VStack, we will create another VStack. And inside this VStack, we'll create another VStack. I'm just kidding. Let's go ahead and insert an image view inside here, which will be set to system name. And we will just use a default system image such as hair.fill. And we want to give it a font of .system size and set that to 80 with a foreground color of .red. Now let's go ahead and also give it some text, and we can call this epic app2. Then we will also give it a font of font.custom, and inside here I want a different font, so we can type in Baskerville bold, and this should be Ville. And it also requires a size. So we'll type in size and set it to 26. And we can close this sidebar for now. And the foreground color will be set to .black with an opacity of 0.80. Then we want to give both of these a scale effect, which will be set to the size, and an opacity, which will be set to the opacity. And when this view appears, we want to increase both of them. So we'll type in inside here with animation, and then we have to add an ease in animation with a duration of 1.2 seconds. And here we type in self.size will be set to 0.9, so it increases slightly, and self.opacity will be 1.0. So as soon as this view appears, it's going to fade in our logo. And of course, you can insert whatever kind of logo you want inside here, but let's continue with the tutorial. Now we actually have to go to the outer VStack, and we're going to type in on appear once again. And inside here, we need to call a dispatch queue.main.async after. And inside here, we need to provide a deadline, which will be set to .now plus 2 seconds. So this splash screen is going to last 2 seconds. And if you want it to be 1 second, modify this to 1. If you want it to be 10 seconds, add 10 there, however you like. And inside here, we're going to set self is active and set that to true. So right now, if we go ahead and run the app, it's going to display our splash screen, but you're going to notice that we forgot a very important detail. So as you can see, as soon as the app loaded, it displayed our logo. but it's not really switching to the screen we wanted to switch to. So we're going to have to go back to our code and add the final bit of code we need. So right here, we're going to type in if isActive is true. We're just going to set it to our content view. Else we're going to set it to this VStack down here. So go ahead and copy this entire VStack and place it inside the else block. Now with that being done, we can go ahead and rerun the program. And as soon as it loads, we're going to get the app loading and it's going to switch to the content view. And you might have noticed that it was very abrupt switching to the content view. And this can easily be fixed by adding an animation down here. So with animation and inserting self is active straight into it. Now if we rerun the program one last time, it's going to load and it's going to transition nicely to our content view. So that essentially was one of the many ways you can create a splash screen in SwiftUI, but I found that to be the simplest so far. And as always guys, I really hope that helped. And with that being said, thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next video.